What's up, everybody? Lou with Hypocritic back on the show floor at PAX East 2022. We're here with Brendan from Pathea Games to talk about my time at Sandrock. Thanks so much for taking some time this afternoon.
Of course.
Give us a little brief on the game. What's it all about?
All right, so Sandrock is the sequel to My Time at Portia. They are crafting and live sim games. So like you go out, you gather materials, and craft new stuff for commissions. And in doing so, over time, you build up the town that's been struggling for a while. And new NPCs come in, all that good stuff. You can craft, fish, fight, farm, lots of stuff. If you're into romance, we're working on like building up new characters to romance as well. So yeah, there's lots of stuff to do.
Very cool. So the demo that's shown here gives you a little hint at and immerses you in the world of the game a little bit. Can you tell us about the story and what players can expect as they dig into the game? Oh,
of course. So this is set in a wholesome post-apocalyptic environment, which is not something that people usually think of. So this is in the Alliance of Free Cities. Our previous game, My Time at Portia, is set in a nearby town, but this one's struggling a bit more. So you'll have to go and basically make the desert green again. So it's an ongoing anti-desertification process. Yeah, it's a lot.
Interesting. Now, you mentioned a lot of different mechanics in the game to make it this sort of fully fledged experience, exploring the world, building it back up again. Can you talk about implementing those mechanics? How did you go about making them fun? Were there any kind of challenges along the way to sort of build them out, things like that?
So since this is a sequel, like we've already had a lot of feedback from other players on our previous game. So what we're doing is just polishing up some of the mechanics, like say gathering materials. Usually in crafting games, you'll like go out and cut trees, right? You can't do that here, it's illegal. So what you do is like you go out and find wooden things to break down and recycle them. So that's a new mechanic. But there's also mining as well, and we thought like before the mining areas was just like a cavern basically that wasn't too interesting. Now you go down into deeper levels to find new materials. So it's little things like that that we think will make it a bit more fresh for returning players.
Very cool. Now, one thing we love to talk about is the art style and the visual style of games. And this is a very, like you said, a wholesome, very cartoony sort of art style that immerses you in this world and makes it feel friendly and approachable, I thought, while we were playing.
Of course.
Can you talk a little bit about the art style, how that was developed and why you chose that particular approach?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a like cartoony style. That's what we were aiming for. This one's actually less cartoony than the previous one, based on player feedback. First, we started out with like the environments, figuring out what setting to put it in. And this one's a desert environment, which is kind of challenging. We actually went out to the Gobi Desert to do research because we're based in China. So we figured out how what plants look like there, and how people farm there, and like make things like not erode. So in doing a lot of real life research, that's how we like developed what we wanted to be in the game.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned player feedback a couple times now, and how critical that seems to have been in shaping what this is becoming. Has this been shown at any conferences or trade shows previously? And if so, or if not, what's the feedback been from players who have been getting their hands on and sort of experiencing it for the first time?
Mm-hmm. So this is our first time at PAX East. It's also been shown at PAX West last year. But we do have beta players from our Kickstarter from 2020. And they've been testing it out over the past year or so. We just released the first multiplayer build last week and have been getting feedback on that as well. As far as press goes, we haven't had too much chance yet. There was a certification issue in China where we had to get a rating certification, but they didn't approve any for 8 months. So it was a long wait, but we just got it. So now we're going to release next month, actually, on early access. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. So next month, early access. Do you have any sort of longer-term release plans for the game? What platforms can players expect to play this on?
Yeah, so Steam and Epic Games are first for early access on May 26th. And then after PC full release, we're going to go to consoles. We're developing ourselves this time. Portia was developed by our publisher, Team 17. This time we're going to be developing it ourselves. And after that, after the console release, will be the mobile release as well. Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you very much. Keep it tuned here to Hypocritic for more from PAX East all weekend long. Thanks for watching. For more content from the Hypocritic crew, hit that subscribe button or visit us at hypocritic.gg.